sooner or later.
Okay. Mario,
Yes.
council meeting. It was kind of, well, it was longer than it has been recently, hasn't it? It was coming on for 4 hours this week. One of the things that we knew about already, and I'm going to get you to explain this, and I know that you're going to do this, very thoroughly. We, the taxpayers of Mijas, have to pay 1.5 million in interest charges for something that wasn't paid. What's all that about?
That's correct. But let me start saying that this month, instead of making this meeting the last Wednesday of the month, it was moved to the last day of the month. That was Tuesday 31st. So we all were expecting that the government will not send us a lot of documents the night before. Stupid. We could guess they will do it. And they were sending us documents even at 8 o'clock in the morning, 2 hours before the pleno started. With so much time, possibly what they are looking for is to reduce our possibility to react. So when they told us about 5 days ago that they were bringing 1.5 million euros to be paid from our savings regarding interest, we asked why. It was a standard question. Why? And we were told, go and find yourself. This is a very usual reply from the government, unfortunately. They believe that, I'm afraid they don't know what they are doing, to be honest. I think the counselor of the tax department doesn't know the invoices he brings to every pleno, doesn't read the papers he tries to defend, and as he knows that his party will win the vote, because they have 8 plus 6, that is 14 votes, more than 12.5, what is needed, he believes he doesn't need to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
But I did my job as I do every month. And then I went to find out those sentences that force the town hall to pay interest.
And can I just say the sentences, we're talking about court orders to do this, aren't we?
Correct.
Yeah.
And there are 2 things to consider. Obviously, we have to pay interest because we have lost the court case. Sometimes we win. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. You know that when you win, it is because you are right, and when you lose, you blame your lawyer. That's the usual reply. I'm not going to do that. Assume that we have won some court cases and we have lost others. And when you lose a court case, you are in general forced to pay interest. So the first conclusion is that if we have 100 million euros in the bank and we don't get any interest from that, we should try to avoid all court cases. Why? Because the court case, we always have to pay between 4 and 6% interest per year.
Right.
So sometimes, or we should always try to avoid a court case. As a general conclusion, if it is simply a matter of money. Second, if someone is simply asking the town hall for the money they deserve because they have rendered a service or sold a product, we should pay them. We shouldn't invest time and lawyer fees simply to delay something that we know will be against us.
Right.
But let's focus our attention. Some of these sentences were 1 or 2 months old, so you may say, well, they have wasted 2 months. But some others have been laying on the desk of someone for 2 years. So after losing a court case, which is something that could happen, someone has left the paper on his desk for 2 years. And the interest, the 6% of that amount of money, and in one case we are talking about millions, is going to be paid by all of us because someone in the town hall didn't do his job. And that is unacceptable.
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Correct. And I have here the list of the sentences. One of them was notified to the town hall in October 2019. That is 2 years. Another one was notified in March 2021, so it is only a few months. Another one, 5 months. of the old place where we were undertaking our garbage. Then a developer that gave the town hall some money to build properties, but later he was refused to build properties. The town hall didn't give him the money nor the land.
Right.
That is 3 months. We have another plot expropriated by the town hall near the boardwalk, 5 months waiting, another one 8 months, and the final one, which is very nice, and let me explain that. There is a court case from a company that renders a service to Mijas Town Hall every month, and they were not paid simply because someone didn't like the invoice, because there is no better reasons. And then the judge rules saying the best will be for the town hall to pay this bill fast. This is not a very usual word to be used in a sentence. Perhaps the judge was thinking in fast and furious. But this resolution from the judge was done the 24th of June. So I thought, well, 2 months, it is too much if the judge has told you to pay fast. But later I realized it was 24th of June 2020.
Oh.
So even a judge is telling you, do pay now and pay fast before I start to make you pay interest on the interest. And it has waited 14 months on a desk somewhere.
Right.
Why?
And as you say, Mario, it's not unusual for councils to be involved in court cases, for people to be unhappy about something that's happened or whatever. That in itself is not an unusual thing.
Correct. There, we could talk a lot about the bottom of the process, but let's say that is very complicated. But here, our main complaint is that once the judge has said this is the end, you have to pay now, and you from today you have to pay interest, then the town hall did nothing. Nothing. In one case for 2 years. This could be acceptable if the town hall didn't have any money. Fine, I would appreciate it. But the town hall has 100 million euros in the banks, producing zero interest. In fact, we have been told that there is a bank, BBVA, that has started to charge 0.5% yearly if you have more than 250,000 euros in the bank account. Possibly this is not a problem for many people listening to our program. But
it's not a problem for me, no.
it is neither for me, but it is a real problem for the town hall because we have 100 million euros. And of course, there are people saying it is very easy to have 100 million euros if you don't pay your invoices. So, and this is the problem. We are starting to believe that there is so much money in the town hall simply because they don't pay the invoices, which is ridiculous. And it's costing money to the 85,000 citizens paying taxes in Mijas, both Spanish, English, even Scottish. They all will have to pay their share on this fiasco.
Yeah, but the Scottish will only pay just what they have to and not a penny more.
Well, they will pay the same as everybody
else. So, Mario, what you're saying is about unpaid bills, and I know the number, but at the moment in Mijas, how much money is owed, which is outside of the legal payment period?
Well, that's something that, you know, in the town hall, we have a general auditor. But this auditor has to do reports publicly, not only for the government, also for the opposition. And every 3 months, he says how much money is owed officially. In this case, he published the figures at the end of June 2021, and there were 7 million euros. It didn't include any of these sentences, which are 8, that I have mentioned before, because the money owed because of a sentence is not included there. Here, the general auditor only includes the invoices for standard services.
Right. So at the moment, Mijas Council owes 7 million euros to suppliers, basically.
7 million euros late, because the town hall owes 3 or 4 million euros more for less than 30 days. By law, since 2013, every public administration has 30 days to accept an invoice and another 30 to pay.
And
If,
what reasons, though, Mario, are they giving for having 7 million waiting to be paid way out of date? What are the reasons that are given?
yes, well, this is very important and people should know it. The town hall pays 50, 60 million euros per year properly, with
Mm,
proper bills, already following a contract, and with all the authorization. The problem comes for the other 20 million euros that the town hall pays not according to the law. And this
okay,
general auditor every month make a list of the bills that have not followed the law regarding the way to spend the money. For example, imagine we have a contract to rent the cars of the police.
right.
That contract expires, so the contract finishes, and the contract is null and void from that very day.
Okay,
But the government may take 1 year or two in making the new contract. So this general auditor, every month with the bill arriving, will issue a report saying this bill is not supported in a contract, so I have to consider this not properly done.
okay,
And
Mario.
this is the kind of bill that comes to the town hall every month.
But Mario, maybe I'm a bit stupid. I haven't had to do a contract for a local authority, but surely the end of a contract doesn't come by surprise. It's not like the
Eh,
rains we had in Spain the other day, in parts of Spain where they just appeared out of nowhere. Surely we know when the end of contracts are and we start
Correct.
for them.
And we know the end of the contract from the very first day in which we sign it.
Exactly.
Since writing was invented many centuries ago, we use ink and proper paper, and the figures are written. So if you sign a contract for 5 years, you know that it will be only 5 years. It will not be 6 or 7, it is 5. And the law is more and more strict nowadays. So some of these contracts cannot be extended.
Mm,
Why? Because the government in Spain believe, and I think they are very right, that after 5 years, the conditions could have changed. And perhaps there are companies offering that service or selling that product cheaper than before. That's why they forced the town hall to put out for tender all those contracts.
yep.
So it is not only that we are spending money without a contract, it is that in many cases, the price of those products or services is cheaper,
Yeah.
and we are wasting our money.
We've got a question here, and it's on the contracts, Mario. Do the council first negotiate the contract after it has expired? Now, I'm wondering if this is, do the negotiations start after the contract is expired, or do they
No,
have
no.
to
First,
renegotiate the contract?
first, it is not negotiation. We cannot negotiate. This is not a friendly agreement as the one you and me could reach buying a plot or selling a car. No,
Right.
the town hall has to publish the conditions and put it out for tender. And
Okay.
if it is a big amount of money, it has to be published even in the European Union.
Right.
And then the town hall receive all the offers. They accept all the offers that fulfill all the conditions, and later by law they have to elect the cheapest,
Right.
as long as they fulfill all the conditions that a technician previously has established.
So what is happening then by not renewing the contracts is that there may be other companies out there who may be able to give a more cost-effective or cost-efficient service to us, but they're not being given the opportunity.
Correct. And we are not only punishing those companies, we are punishing ourselves because we are forced to keep working with someone that in many cases has a price above the standard one nowadays.
Right. Okay, Mario. Any other things of interest happening in the council meeting yesterday? Anything you'd like to highlight?
Yes, well, there is something that happens every month. The town hall has to publish how many days they take to pay an invoice, as long as they are above 30. If it is below 30, it doesn't need to be published. But
Okay.
if it is above 30, it has to be published. Guess since when they are publishing this figure? Exactly from June 2015. That is when the mayor stopped being from the Popular Party.
Right.
As soon as the Popular Party left the town hall, they have not fulfilled the 30 days period to pay the invoices.
Wow.
And the time in June 2021, that was published the 31st of August, was 93 days.
Oh,
It
that's
is
going up the way.
93 days in
Right.
which we are upsetting the people who have rendered their service or offered their product. And also we are discouraging them to make offers in the future. Because
Right.
some of these people say, well, I prefer to work with Fuengirola that pays within 10 days, with Malaga that pays within 5 days, or with Marbella. Nobody can understand why a town hall with so much money in the bank takes so many days to pay.
And we have a lot of civil servants.
Well, we have 850.
850 civil
And
servants.
50 people exclude 150 policemen, and
Okay.
then you still have 700. If
Right.
you exclude 40 firemen, it is still 600 and something.
Right.
And there is knowledge. We have a lot of equipment, a lot of money in computers and programs. So
Mhm.
it is simply a matter of organization.
Right. Okay.
Someone is not doing their job. And we
And
believe,
the thing is, Mario, right at the moment, if these are smaller suppliers, if they are, they can't afford to wait 90 days to be paid.
correct, and 90 days is an average. For example, in
Yeah.
this pleno, at 8 o'clock in the morning, they send us an invoice from 2018. It
Right.
was 1,000 euros for organizing a basketball competition.
Yeah.
Since 2018, someone waiting for 1,000 euros. That is not the best way to support the sport in Mijas,
No.
taking 3.5 years to pay an invoice.
And I have to say, I mean, this is my first legislature as a councillor. But we had the council meeting on Tuesday morning. On Monday afternoon, I spent 1.5 hours just downloading documents that they had sent us at
Mhm.
2 something in the afternoon, between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. I didn't even get all of the stuff downloaded because it was just there was so many documents. And um, I'm a foreigner, Mario. I need time if I'm going to read all these documents.
But even if you are a proper Spanish since you were born, as it is my case, it was 100, and also they are using a very strange system in which we have to download piece by piece. So at the end, it was about 100 files to be downloaded from a special place with all the reports from this general auditor
Mhm.
complaining that government is not doing things properly.
Yeah,
And they have already got in general, they always do it, they send it the day before. So
yeah.
we don't have a lot of time to see how many bad things they have done. So they believe that our criticism in the Pleno will be lower. That is not the case. They know that we will always find time to know what they are doing.
But
And
there was one document, I think it was 84 pages or something, for an 84-page document to do with the payment of 55,000 euros or something. Is that right?
correct. That was an independent thing. They were things bought by the computer department in
Right.
the town hall. Why? Because, for example, imagine you need to have something to protect the computers from the virus, an
Yeah.
antivirus.
Yeah.
And this is something that you have to pay every month in the town hall. There is no contract. So the boss of the computers department said, sorry, I cannot leave the town hall without protection, so we need to keep paying this.
Hmm.
Also, the town hall has to pay 150 euros per month to be able to connect to a net called Agora that is handled by the Diputación. Again, we cannot live without that connection.
No.
So the chief of the department said, sorry, I need to keep doing that, but we have already sent all the documents to the contract department so they can make the contract.
Yeah.
But the counselor of the contract department, unfortunately, is the same one as the counselor of economy and taxes. So he doesn't blame himself in every pleno, but the fact is that he's the one responsible for having to pay all these invoices out of the system because
Yeah.
his department is not doing the contract.
Yeah. Okay, Mario. Anything else that you would like to highlight from the meeting on Tuesday of this week?
I am checking other things, but there was nothing important. We put the name of Clara Campoamor. This was a lady that was defending in 1931 the right of the Spanish woman to vote in the elections.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a very known fight between this lady and another one called Victoria Kent, who said that women were not prepared to think by themselves and they shouldn't vote because they will be following instructions from their husband.
Right.
That was 1931. Thank God Clara Campoamor won that battle,
Uh,
and women have been able to vote in Spain since that time,
well, they
1930.
certainly never met my wife if they thought that they can't think for themselves.
By the way, and something important for foreigners talking about vote, in Spain, only the Spanish nationals can vote in the national elections.
Yeah.
But in the local elections, which are important because that is where you elect the councillors, as you and me,
Mm-hmm.
the vote from citizens of the European Union and some other 13 countries is allowed.
Right.
So we already know the date of the local elections, the fourth Sunday in May 2023.
Right.
So all those foreigners wishing to vote in that election should pop up into the town hall and request their right to vote in those elections.
Right.
Pay attention, it is not enough to be registered as empadronado. You have
No.
also to request your right to vote in Spain.
Mhm. And there have been a lot of questions from Brits about whether or not we would be allowed to vote. But there was a Decreto Real in January of 2019, which actually stated that we would be allowed to vote and stand in local elections as previously. So let's hope that Mr. Johnson doesn't do anything to mess that up.
Well, some people believe that that decree was subject only to the transition period, while some others believe that no, that that decree will be valid forever until it is changed.
Right.
In any case, I'm sure there will be news between now and May 2023 regarding the vote of the British, both in Spain and in the United Kingdom,
Mm.
wherever they live. So I would encourage people to pay attention to the news and keep watching our program. For
And,
sure, we will be informed.
certainly, as non-EU citizens, if we are allowed to vote, my understanding is that we will need to register pre every election. It's not like in the past where perhaps your registration on the voters roll carried over. What I've read is that we will need to re-register for every election.
Well, that is not exactly true because some people from countries outside the European Union, for example, Bolivia, not Argentina, but Bolivia, eh, once you register, that is enough forever. However, what you have to do is to do something every 5 years because otherwise the town hall will assume that you have gone back to your country
Mm.
or gone away forever with God. So it is, I am always telling that, like the doctor, it is better to go to the town hall once a year, even if you have no pain.
Just
Just make sure
you-
you have no debt,
you're
that they
still
have all your records, and you are alive and kicking.
You're still on the Padron. Mario, there was something else that we were chatting about earlier, and I know there have been a lot of questions about it, and this was raised at the council meeting, and it's about this area behind the market ground when you're going up towards the petrol station,
Mhm.
opposite the walk. which is used, well, was used previously for parking during the ferias.
The feria.
There have been some decisions made about this, haven't there?
Yes, well, the main decision was taken many years ago. All that area is commercial. What the owner of two plots has done is to move the possibility to build in one of the plots to the other
right. So
because he.
this one area is actually two plots there, Mario.
That's right. And
Oh,
the town hall has accepted to move the number of square meters to be built from one plot to another. But the total number remains the same and it has to be commercial.
right.
Commercial means offices, a supermarket, movies, anything, shops,
Anything. Yeah.
but commercial, not residential, and not industrial. So you
But
cannot have there a factory, for example.
no. So, but at the moment, we don't know. It's been approved in principle that they will be able to do this, but we don't know yet what is going to be actually built there.
No, but you can be sure that if the owner has asked for this change of buildable area from one plot to another, it is because he has a clear idea of what to do. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that before the end of the year, we will see the first trucks and cranes there working.
Right. Okay. So there is going to be something in there, and we need to wait and see.
That's right.
People seem to get awfully excited when you mention they're building more shops. For me, it's a nightmare. More shops. I think I hate shops and I hate shopping.
Well, in theory, if you can see so many apartments built there in the area,
Yeah.
all these people will need to buy shoes, to buy trousers, to buy glasses,
Yeah.
to buy things for their houses.
Yeah.
So this is the usual conclusion. The problem is that we cannot see hospitals and schools
No.
because they depend on governments and government is always behind,
Right.
while the private initiative as this commercial center is always in advance. The authorities will always be late, but
Yeah.
that's history.
And it's certainly true, Mario, that given the what must be the potential enormous explosion in population. When I say in La Cala, I'm talking about in the La Cala area.
Mhm.
You know, there isn't a shoe shop. There isn't. Well, there are one or two clothes shops. That's not fair. There are lots of things that we don't have in the La Cala area, which would serve local people very well, aren't there?
Fine, I'm sure this commercial center will be delighted to wait to receive offers from people like you who may want to open a shoe shop.
Ah,
Could be the opportunity for anyone listening to our program to go there and rent a shop for any kind of activity that they consider necessary for so many people arriving to La Cala.
yes. So, am I supposed to do this in my spare time, Mario? Yeah.
Well, whenever you can.
I'll just set up a little shop and run it in my spare time. um, yeah. So, anything else you would like to sort of round up with that came up in the conversations, Mario, and the discussions?
No, the monthly meeting, as you said, took for hours. There was a demonstration of people trying to save the Chaparral Forest, which is a personal fight I am also involved,
Mm,
because from March 2019, we are trying to declare that area protected.
yeah.
And the councillor keeps changing from there is no need to protect it to it is already protected to nobody will ever build there to we will always deny or refuse any authorization. The fact is that we know that there is a project to build 400 houses there since 2008. And we know that the biggest bank in Spain bought that plot in 2020.
Right.
And we believe that bankers with so much money are usually not stupid.
Mm,
So if a banker has paid a fortune for that plot, it is because he believes it is possible. And any action we could do to protect the forest should be done now, not later. And this is a battle we started in March 2019. And
yeah.
every 2 or 3 months, I ask about it.
Yeah. Mario, right at the beginning, actually, it didn't go out on air. I was asking you about something, so I'm going to ask you again just to finish off with. And there was a criticism about our show here that it's not balanced, and we should invite someone from the PSOE on to put the other side of the picture, because we can't present a balanced picture. How did you answer that, Mario?
Well, first, if we ever found someone from the PSOE who is able to defend their position and knows what they are talking about, I don't have any problem. But the fact is that the government has their mass media, their TV and their newspaper and their radio and their website that cost 2.5 million euros to all the Spaniards, and we hardly appear there. If
Yeah,
you see today's the news of today and yesterday, they sell as a success that they have approved the payment of 900,000 euros in the Pleno and that they have approved to pay 1.5 million euros in interest. They don't say why we have to waste 1.5 million of our money in interest of sentences that someone has kept in a box for 2 years.
yeah,
So it is good that we have another opinion and that opinion goes out in public.
yeah,
But they are also invited to have their own program. Why should they be in our program? They can also use internet to do the same as we are doing here. Why
yeah.
not? And
Well,
then people could choose from one to another.
we've got a message here from Ron Pettit, and it was actually on his page that this comment was made that we're not balanced. And he said the trouble is you won't find someone that would do it. Well, I think that's true, and you know what I did say, but unfortunately we hadn't gone live just at that moment. Is that, you know, if a government councillor does anything, you know, whether they go and present a check or receive a check or shake hands with someone in the street, then it's news. If you or I, Mario, wish to tell the people of Mijas something that we're doing, it's politics. And you know, we have a limited space in the Mijas Semanal, for example, for our political party. But you know, if I was, as I was, running surgeries for anyone in Mijas, not for PP people, not for PSOE people, but for anyone in Mijas that wanted to come and see me, I was told very clearly, yes, we can put it in the paper, but it has to go under politics. It's not news. So there is no balance. I've been invited once, I think, in the last 3 years to do something on Mika's communication on the television channel, and it was to do with Brexit, with several other people. I've never been invited to comment on anything since that point.
And
You?
it's a pity because you are a foreigner. You were not born in Spain.
Mm,
And your point of view would be very much interesting. I have not been invited either. None of the councillors of the Popular Party have been invited, let's say, in these 2 years since
no.
Josele became mayor in 2019 in July. And possibly we will not be invited in the following 20 months before the next elections. But it doesn't matter. We have this channel of communication, and I'm sure the picture and the sound are as good as from Mijas Comunicación.
Yeah, I think what we are doing, Mario, is we are providing some balance by doing these live streams, you know, and it's not really, you know, I think when a government team have almost 3 million euros to promote themselves, they really don't need to come onto our free live stream to do it again.
Yes, no, but they can also do their own live stream.
Oh,
They
if they
can
went,
do it, and people will elect. Why should it be in ours?
yeah.
There is plenty of room in the net for everybody. They can do themselves.
Mario, thank you very much. It was a kind of interesting meeting. I have to be honest, though. I have to be really honest. I follow council meetings normally pretty well. I don't really have much problem with the language. But these meetings, these days, where everybody's talking through masks into microphones, I do sometimes just get to the point of just switching off. It's like, nah. It's not. There are some people with their accents and the way they speak, I struggle a little bit with. But when they're talking through a mask, it's crazy.
I know, and possibly I will be asking that in the next monthly meeting, the person who talks can remove the mask, the same as many other people do in public. At the same time, we have to press a button for the microphone. We can remove our mask so our face can be seen and our sound can be heard better. I don't think people will be infected because of that.
I think not. I mean, we're not all sitting breathing and sneezing on each other, and I think even aesthetically, seeing people's expression while they're talking is really, for me, it's quite important. But
Yes.
anyway, Mario, thank you very much for joining us. I have to say, it is far better talking to you face to face than face to voice as we had to do last time. I'm glad you've got things sorted out there. I really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure.
So thank you. We've had got a lot of people joining in today. And we've had some nice comments from people, or some interesting comments from people. Thank you for joining in. Thank you,
Thank
Mario.
you.
Have
Thank
a
you.
very good weekend when it comes.
All right.
And we'll be back together again, well, sometimes around the end of September.
I will be here.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Pete.
everyone, for listening in. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will be back next Thursday at 7 o'clock. And I'm not going to do what I did last time. It will be with Anna Nandez. I got it wrong last time I said this. I said it would be so and so, and it was actually you, I think, Mario, instead.
Yes.
But you see, I'm old fashioned. I have a calendar, so
Good.
I have to check it. So Anna Nandez will be with us next week, and I think we've got some interesting topics to cover. Thank you very much. Take
All
care,
right. Thank
everyone.
you.
Have a lovely
Goodbye.
weekend when it comes. Bye bye,
Bye.
everyone.